It's a phrase that is now part of our pop culture. We don't talk about Bruno, but today we get to meet the woman who first sang about him as part of the talented cast of Disney's Encanto.
Grew to live in fear, Bruno stuttering or stumbling. I can always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I associate him with the sound of falling sand.
She was the voice of Dolores, a member of the magical Madrigal family with keen hearing who picks up on all of the juicy family secrets. In real life, her name is Adassa. She's a talented force with a powerful four-octave vocal range that has landed her performances with Pitbull, Flo Rida, Snoopy Dogg, and more. She's a sought-after lyricist with a love for words, a passion driven by her full heart and strong faith that make up who she is at the core, and we are just thrilled to welcome Adassa to Studio 5. Such a treat, such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you.
You are a force. You're a woman inside and out to admire and respect and look up to. I want to know what it's been like to ride this Encanto wave the last year.
Wow, it's been intense. It's been so rewarding, you know, to be able to have done 20 years worth of music and working with, you know, so many great artists like Pitbull and Snoop and Daddy Yankee, and then having a second turn at it, you know, and being able to work with Lin-Manuel Miranda and Byron Howard, Jared Bush. I mean, I was in music, so I had not really dabbled a lot in acting. And when Disney contacted me to see if I would like to audition for this project, I was like, I'm sorry, what project?
I'm sorry,
and they
what?
were like, oh, we can't tell you which one. It's just gonna be great. So,
well, we should set up for context. You had taken a step back from music,
did.
and they found a little posted YouTube clip of you and sought you out.
Yes, it was a video that we did of a song called Porque Ella No Yo. We did it in Spanish, and it was a one-shotter that my husband was like, oh, the light is great, we're in Miami, let's do a video. And it was a one take, and the rap style that I was using was something I was exploring, and it was like, háblame claro, dime por qué acabó, lo de nosotros fue más de una noche de simple pasión. And through that video, Grace Kim, which was the casting director assistant to Jamie Sparrow Roberts, contacted us, and the rest is history. Now I'm here.
Happened. Oh, and we're so glad it did. You mentioned your husband. When asked about your success, he said that he referenced the scriptures, saying he's been reminded that God does big things through little things. And referencing God, you once said he wants all of us to be an influence for good. So have trust in his hand. He can make anything possible for you. Have you felt God through this process, Adassa, the last year?
Absolutely. When I was getting cast in this film, I came down with COVID, and the second wave of COVID hit me, and it got to a point where I thought I was going to die. I mean, I couldn't move my legs, my arms. I could not sing or rap at all, even though I had just done my audition. And so I thought, I wrote out my will, and I'm like, I'll hug my babies for the last time, and that's when I get the call back, and I was literally in my husband's lap, and he was just like, we can't do this. Like, you have to say no. And I'm like, you call him if I'm dead. I'm taking this, and I don't know how this miracle is going to happen. And sure enough, the Lord made a miracle happen. 3 weeks later, I was recording the parts for Dolores, and I can't believe that I'm here. And I do truly believe that even though when I saw Dolores' character, I'm like, well, I'm really not sure what they see. And they're like, it's a standout character. I'm like, I don't see what it is, because you don't see the full mosaic. You just see pieces. And when I finally saw the work of art that they did, and then when We Don't Talk About Bruno blew up, and people were cosplaying the characters, kids were singing it, you know, grown-ups were singing it. I was like, they made it. And then Dolores just kind of took off on her own.
Took off. You yourself, a mom of 7.
Yes.
Your children love the film, I'm sure, just as much as mine do.
Yes.
And moms are always talking about, I mean, we've been asked over and over, I'm sure you have as well as working moms, about balance. And I've come to not appreciate that word too much, but you're a woman of priority, and that's a word that I do appreciate. And you once said, I had to sit back, speaking of that crossroads that I mentioned, you had to sit back, look at the choices, and ask yourself why you really do music. Do you do it for the money? Do you do it for the fame? Or are you doing this to leave a legacy to my family? And I'm so glad to see that conversation shift from balance to priority, which is what I hear you speak about when you say this. What keeps you centered on what's really important?
For me, number one, it's having my family life be intact. I love my husband. We've been together for 25 years, happily married, and that's why we have such a happy family. So number one is making sure that my family is my first priority. God is at the center of everything for me. So when I am doing music, I'm really analyzing, am I doing something that is going to leave a good impact and it is going to inspire? And that's the key word. And when I was at the AMAs and I heard Lionel Richie talk about that, he's like, if you do something that's hip, it's now. If you do something that inspires, it's forever. And that's what we've been trying to do and what we're continuing to do with music. And so when I look at my kids, I don't want them to think, well, if you want to be a mom, you can't live your dreams. It's no, there is a way to prioritize.
Yeah.
And because balance, I'm seriously telling you, balance does not exist, okay? That is for other people.
Yeah.
Not when you're outnumbered with kids.
Yeah.
So I really do see it as, you know, God and my faith and my family is number one, and then I prioritize from there everything I can do. So sometimes I say no to money because I say yes to my family, because to me that's the highest worth. So sometimes you do say no to money.
Yes.
And I do tell people, you know, I can only be booked this many times in a month, and after that I need time just with my family.
I love that. I love that. You are here to help kick off the Giving Machines
Yes.
in downtown Salt Lake City. And we should say, if you have time today, head out to City Creek. Performances at noon and 5 o'clock.
Yes.
You're going to do some Christmas songs. You're going to do a little Encanto.
Yes, and I mean, there's so many great charities that you can give to, and it's just really taking a little bit from yourself and adding it. Every single person that adds that little bit of light can light the whole entire world just with that help. So the giving machines are there. You can choose what you want to donate to. And I'm doing a really intimate performance. It's not like a super show because I want to be just one-on-one personal with you guys and be able to take pictures. And it's an absolutely free show.
Yes.
So just show up. All I ask is please give, light the world, give in, and choose a charity that you like. You can get some information straight from the box. So just go out and let's light the world together.
You are an inspiration. Thanks for using your voice for good in more than one way. We look up and admire you for that. Thank you for making time. Catch Adassa today at City Creek, noon and 5 o'clock, part of the Giving Machine kickoff in downtown Salt Lake City.